You're 21 weeks gone.
Yeah.
Are you doing the whole fruit thing? Like, how big is your baby in comparison to a kiwi or like a nut or something?
We are. And I go in every week at training, and it's so sweet. The girls will be in the change room and they'll be like, Jose, what fruit are we on this week? And then they'll go around and then they'll guess the size of the fruit. And I actually, last time, I was like, this is so cute. I need to document this moment. So I filmed it. The 20-week one went round and filmed what fruit they guessed.
Wait, let me guess, because I've not seen this vid yet.
No, I haven't. I'm gonna.
It's not dropped yet.
No,
okay.
It's not. But it's gonna drop soon. But it's so just so lovely that I can share that with them. So I think it's core memory. But yeah, guess 20 weeks.
You're halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be smaller than a kiwi. I think. I think it's smaller than a kiwi.
Okay.
Kiwi's quite big, isn't it?
Right.
Is it?
Well, I'm not going to give you any clues.
A tangerine? No, much smaller. Christ, what's smaller than a tangerine? You can tell I don't eat a lot of fruit anymore.
And also know a lot of pregnant people.
It's very, very true. I'm going to go for, what's a massive nut? Like a Brazil nut or like what's the walnuts that you crack with the flipping metal thing?
The Christmas nuts.
Yeah, the Christmas nuts.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm going to go for that.
Absolutely so far off. You
really?
could not be more wrong. Yeah.
No, go on.
So the size of a large banana.
Shut the front door, that's massive. Yeah. That is
but more in the length than the actual shape, obviously.
Right, okay. So you're carrying, I mean, it's like, what's that, like half a ruler? It's about 50, what's that, like 10 centimetres?
Bit longer, probably, yeah, 15 plus. I don't know off the top of my head, but
I've really taken this conversation sideways. Are there any mums currently at Palace who've kind of been through what you've been through? Are you now the oldest? Because I remember you being one of the youngest, and now, like, are you like the mother of the camp?
I am the mother. People do, even before I became pregnant. Amy Everett did call me mum. So I feel like I gave off mum vibes before I became a mum. Not the oldest pair, but first one ever, I think, to be pregnant at Crystal Palace. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you're
a milestone, isn't it?
So many younger sisters to like be around, to be supported. So many role models. My God.
Yes,
yeah.
Honestly, the girls have been amazing and so supportive and such like a sounding board for me, and just going in and they've made my time a lot easier. So yeah, very grateful for all of them.
Defo, mate. And I've been seeing you doing the absolute most on socials at the moment, documenting the journey, influencer mum vibes. I've been absolutely love it. How have you found that, kind of being away from the girls a little bit more? Because obviously you have a different training schedule, which we'll talk about in a sec, but like also like making the most of like sharing and documenting your journey, which has been lovely to see. It feels like you're enjoying it.
Yeah, and I really wanted to do it just because I think when I went into it, I knew that there was obviously other people that have gone through it in football from other clubs, but I've never been in a club where someone's been pregnant. And I really didn't know what to expect or what the journey involved. And I just think it's important to share and it be more visible so that maybe, people can feel comfortable to, if they get pregnant, come and ask me. And then that shortens like the learning curve for them, because I've reached out to other people who've gone through the journey. And it's really helped me just to like reassure me, ask some questions, because, every athlete's different, every body's different. And just to kind of know what their journey looked like a little bit really gave some reassurance for me, because I've never been around it in that setting. So yeah.
Who did you speak to? Because obviously there's quite a few mothers in the WSL, and 2 years ago we sat down with Dagny Brunnesdotter. She was at West Ham at the time, and she was talking about her pregnancy and how she'd sought loads of advice from other players, and now you've become kind of like one of the roster of players that people can speak to about this experience. But yeah, who's been like your go-to for like motherly WSL advice?
Well, I spoke to Claire Emsley, who's a good friend of Chloe Arthur on our team, and she kind of linked us up and put us in contact, and she was brilliant. She's in the NWSL now, but had some amazing points for me, gave me a lot of reassurance and just knowledge that, you're in this and you're fine and you can do it. And I spoke briefly to Simone McGill, who's also pregnant as well. It's just such a community of people out there who are just willing to speak and reach out and give you the support. So it's been really nice to go through from that aspect.
Do you have a mum's WhatsApp group? Is it like a WSL mums? Like...
There is. I'm yet to be. That's something
not yet added.
Not yet added. But I am. It's on my list of things to do and get myself on.
You have to wait until the banana becomes like a melon or something. That's the cutoff?
Maybe.
You mentioned obviously you're still at Palace like quite a bit throughout the week, 3 days a week during training. But what does that look like week to week, like day to day? Like what kind of things are you able to still do? What kind of things are you kind of like rowing back a little bit from?
Yeah, so I'm in 3 days a week. It's not all that I do though. So I do 4 gym sessions and 2 swim sessions, but my training's just really intentional. So instead of like chasing numbers and kilometers that I'm doing, which I was so used to doing before, now it's more about kind of how does my pelvis feel? How does my body feel? And really going off like how I feel as
trusting your body.
Yeah, trusting my body as a player and a person. So that's shifted for me, and a mindset that I've had to shift as well, because, you know, as you can identify, it's quite difficult to slow down sometimes when you're in the thick of football.
I think you always think that everything has to be competitive. You're always trying to chase like the number or like the person who's in your position or whatever it is. So yeah, to kind of step back from that competitive element and just listen to what your body needs in those moments is it's tough for you as well, because you're a mindset gal. Yeah.
I am. So that has been a real shift for me, and something that I'm still adjusting to, constantly being held back a little bit, because I obviously like to try and push and do more. But yeah, in regards to what I can and can't do, still doing lots of training on the pitch, just shorter spaces. I don't like doing any diagonals. It kind of hurts my pelvis. Long balls, can't really do. And any really like high intensity conditioning sessions I don't do anymore. So yeah, it's been an adjustment finding out what you can and can't do. And as the weeks go on, it evolves so much. Like what I can do this week, next week I might not feel comfortable doing. So
okay, that's interesting.
Adaptation is, or being able to be adaptable is key at the moment.
So are you, I mean, assuming that you get rid of the old stat vest as well, because I used to hate wearing the stat vest, because so when I was at Palace, we used to have this screen that Andy Green used to set up.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah, and it was a screen on the edge of the pitch, and you'd walk onto the pitch and, oh God, the bloody screen's out again. And you'd have your stat vest on, and it was like a little like tracker that was stuck to the back of your neck. And then like you'd go and do your session, then you'd come in from the session, you'd all walk past this same gate and screen you could see, and it was just like Chloe, Amy, I don't know, Jamie, Jenna, whoever it was, and it was just like you could see like the level. It was like a bar chart. So
yes.
And obviously because I was a keeper, and not a very fit keeper, and because I was in my 30s, and because I was getting on.
Nothing wrong with age.
My
Take
bar,
that out.
my bar would always be about here, and everyone else's bar would be about here. So it's quite nice that you don't. I mean, I'm assuming your bar was like the highest every single week, but it's quite nice to like not have to think about like those kind of things. Yeah.
Well, we still track it. Still, the stat vest is still on and the GPS is still on, but I just have my own. It's on my own, or on the physio's phone, and separate from everyone else. So I don't look at everyone else's. We just look at mine.
Nice.
So that's nice.
I love that. That's really lovely. Was this kind of a decision that you've been thinking about for a long time? I know we've kind of spoken about, you know, when the right time is. Like you've always said that, you know, you want to be a mum at some point. And I think it's really hard to kind of choose the right moment, because obviously you had the Wales, you know, your Wales career going alongside that. But yeah, do you think it was quite difficult to kind of like choose when the right moment was for you?
Timing's really difficult. Tournaments, playing for Wales, something that, you know, I absolutely adore. Contracts, length of them, transitions, when you transition from different clubs. It's a really difficult thing to find a right time. And I don't think there is a right time for anyone, but life doesn't always, you know, align with a season or a calendar. So it's just something that I really wanted to do, and it felt like the right time. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And also I think on top of that also, like, you can decide it's the right time, but like your body and everything else and the whole process and stuff might decide that actually it doesn't happen for 6 months, or it doesn't happen for a year, or like it's really hard to kind of pinpoint. You can't say, oh, well, this season I'm going to fall pregnant.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It doesn't work like that, does it?
No, it really doesn't. And, you know, with someone that, I don't know if it's too much TMI, but someone that's had irregular periods and has found it difficult to track and know where I'm at, you can't. That also brings a whole nother element to it as well. So, yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
But it's worked out really, really well. I feel like it's, Yeah, you just seem so happy, and I'm just so happy for you. And I can't wait for like, I know, little baby cuddles and things. And like your sister's only just down the road for me, so I'm gonna be like all the bloody time as soon as you start.
Auntie Chloe cuddles.
100%. Move aside, Jenna.
You've got the number one spot at the moment.
Yes, come on.
On record.
Back in the jersey, come on. In terms of kind of pregnancy in the WSL, like you mentioned a couple of people that you're going to for advice, but how do you think pregnancy is perceived in women's football, not just within sort of Crystal Palace, but more generally? Because it feels like it was only yesterday, like May 24, that FIFA introduced proper protection for players and coaches during and after pregnancy, and then allow clubs to sign players outside the transfer window if a player had to take maternity leave. But do you feel like it's do you feel like the space is in a good position to be pregnant as a female player?
I think, you know, when you think back historically, I think it's not got negativity around it. I think it's more uncertainty. And especially with our bodies, from a player perspective, our bodies being our job, like there's that uncertainty of how your body's going to react, and it can feel risky when you're out of control. And I think, you know, you see more people doing it. That helps. These protections that have been put in by FIFA in regards to maternity helps. So I think, you know, as a space of women's football's evolving, these things are evolving too, but it takes time. And I think there's still improvements, and, you know, as everything with women's football, it's not perfect and it's not smooth sailing at the moment. So I think there's still, you know, room for growth in that aspect as well.
Definitely. No, I hear you on the uncertainty. It kind of feels like it feels almost weird that some of these regulations and kind of frameworks around maternity have happened so late. I mean, maternity and, you know, female players having babies has been happening for years and years and years. And yet only in the last, 2 or 3 years, we've really seen there being kind of like structure around it, which is wild. And I think also, I mean, there's uncertainty with the women's game with contracts and the length of contracts and things like that. So it always feels like there's a bit like, there's heightened anxiety anyway when it gets to like your, I don't know, February, March time, and you're like, oh, is the I don't know, the club going to have a discussion with me and whatever it is. So I hear you.
But I think, you know, seeing, you know, players that have gone through it before and they've managed to do it really helps.
Definitely.
And sees that, you know, you can do both, and that's been a real comfort for me, seeing those players, and hopefully that's something that I can achieve as well.
Definitely. I also feel like you're the kind of person who will like look at this experience and where maybe there has been sort of I don't know, things that haven't, or there could have been smoother sailing, and kind of do something after your pregnancy to kind of help others. I feel it in my bones with you. But obviously I think outside of the, you know, the physical things that you're still able to do with the club, and you've always been interested in well-being and holistic support of players. I mean, when we were at Spurs, one of the nicest things that you did, because obviously like Spurs, we were like, oh my God, we've finally made it to the WSL. This is absolutely wild. We don't know what's going to happen. All these new players were coming in. We're training in this like weird training environment. Like one day we're in front of 38,000 people. Next day we're in front of about 50, and you know, and it's just like this really weird environment. But like
it was, yeah.
You kind of brought us together most mornings to kind of do this yoga session. Which
how many times did you come?
I think maybe the first one, yeah. And it wasn't through that I didn't appreciate the sessions. It was more that like yoga for me just felt too static. Like it felt like I needed to do something.
So the teacher needed to improve.
No. It was more that I yoga as a concept is like I need to do something dynamic. Like I need to like burn calories, like just run and do things. Whereas I felt like yoga was like a bit too it's too calm for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, how do you feel about that stuff now? Because obviously, like, you've been working on the sort of the yoga and the holistic stuff outside of Palace. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think it's really helped me and helped me increase my tolerance to stress and my resilience. So like you were talking about how you just need to burn and just get through and push through. And I think I used to think that as resilience and think that was a way forward. But I think I see now through, you know, doing this mindfulness and yoga practice that understanding how my nervous system works is so important to how, you know, I feel. And if I can recognize when I'm stressed, that means I can regulate it. So doing things like yoga, my mindfulness, journaling, and you know, I can tell you.
Where's this going?
You're not on board with. I don't know if you know, they're little things, but I think they're really impactful in my life. And I genuinely feel like doing these things have managed to help me regulate stress, become more resilient, and especially in stressful situations in football, you come up against them all the time, big
Daily.
crowds. Constant stresses. I could list literally a whole book of them, as could probably you. So it's really helped me. And also I've learned that through pregnancy, you can't push through.
Mm-hmm.
It's your body doesn't let you.
Listen.
Yeah, you have to listen. So if you're stressed, it tells you even more so than if you weren't pregnant. And if you've done too much, it tells you. So having these tools in my back pocket have really helped.
God, you're so well now. You're so mature.
No, there's been tough moments. These are just like the highlights.
You've launched your wellness gratitude journal across the floor. And fuck this. No, to be fair, I went through a phase of like no drinking. I was at CrossFit all the time, and then I was I was like doing a wellness or a gratitude journal. I'd write down 3 things I absolutely like. I loved about the day. It could be something stupid like I petted a Cavapoo puppy today, or it could be like I saw my mum and dad, whatever it was. And like that was really nice because it changes your mindset into looking for positive things. So like I used to be a bit kind of like, I feel a bit wishy-washy, things like that. But actually, when I was doing them, I noticed the benefit really quickly. So
yeah, and you got to find what works for you. What
Definitely.
works for me might not work for you. But I'd just say just keep trying little things. And it does make a massive difference. Well, it has for me especially. Keep petting the Cavapoos and
yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Wales, because that's obviously been such a massive part of your journey. They begin their World Cup qualification campaign tonight against Czechia.
Yes, I'm so excited to watch them play.
Yeah, are you like? How do you like feel about it? Kind of watching from a distance now.
Do you know what? After being at the Euros and watching the amount of fans that turned up and the support that we have, it just gets me like you say, like trying to look at it from a different perspective. And I'm just so excited to, watch the team as more of a fan and really just enjoy watching them play football. But don't get me wrong, it is tough to be on the sidelines and not be so involved. But I'm so excited to look forward to seeing the campaign get underway.
Definitely. And I think, you mentioned the Euros there, and I was lucky enough we had you down at a watch party for the Euros final in July in London, which is amazing. And you were on stage with Claire Rafferty kind of talking about what it'd been like to literally just leave the Euros, a week earlier. Obviously you and this group of players took Wales to their first ever major tournament. Tell us a little bit about what that experience is like. I could listen to this account over and over again about the fans that you came across and the vibe out there in Switzerland.
Yeah, honestly, it gives me goosebumps still, even now talking about it. And I just remember a standout moment for me, and that was the first game in Lucerne. And we were in the meeting room getting ready to leave the hotel and get on the bus, and you could hear the sea of Welsh fans outside the hotel, and they were all singing the national anthem. And we were trying to have this like really serious team meeting, getting ready for the first game, and you could just hear the anthem, and all of us just looked at each other like, "What? This is so
real?
Crazy? Is this real?" And then we got to the stadium. When we walked out for the warm up, just the sound and the view and the sea of red shirts, that's something I'll just treasure forever. Like, it was unbelievable.
What does that like when you reflect back on it now? Obviously, you've had a bit, you've had almost 6, 7, 8 months to kind of look back on that experience. It was such a historic thing to have done with the club. Do you feel like you've actually appreciated the significance of the moment?
Country, but close.
The club, the country even. Yeah. But do you think like you've appreciated like how big that was for you in terms of like as a personal moment, but also kind of on a wider level about what that did for, Welsh football?
I think when you're in it, not so much, but yeah, like you say, reflecting and taking that step back, you do realise kind of what a historic moment it was. And I think it's given the whole team that drive to push and go for it again, because we don't just want our legacy to be one tournament, we want it to be multiple. So I think it's really added some more fuel to the fire, which is
love that.
Yeah, which is
Fight and talk for the Dragons.
Yes.
What do you feel like you've learned sort of going through an experience like that? Because obviously it was a massive thing that happened for you guys, but also it was a super tough group. It was you went through some very battling experiences, and as a kind of, I don't know if you're a more mature player because you're still super, super young in my eyes. You're still a baby to me and Jenna.
Thank you.
But
I paid her to say that. I'll give you the £10 later.
But yeah, what do you feel like you've learned, and what do you feel like you give to kind of like the younger players at Palace, I suppose, because I think they'll be aspiring to kind of do what you've done, really.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I think for me, the big takeaway from all of that was just how it inspired the younger generation and just Welsh women's football in general. And the group was so tough, and the results, some of them weren't obviously what we wanted as a team and collective, and some of the performances weren't. But if you just look at kind of the whole of the experience for not just us as players, but for everyone who came out, I think it just shows it was just such a great showcase for Welsh women's football on the global stage. So I think that's something we can take away and be really proud of.
Rhiannon Wilkinson said this is quite a big period of transition. You've had some sort of massive retirements as well. Two players like Jess Fishlock, Kayleigh Barton as well. I mean, what do you kind of see for this Wales team sort of going through this pretty much sort of similar to what the Lionesses did when they, when Jill Scott and Ellen White and the sort of like were moving along and then the next generation was coming through. Do you see a kind of similar pattern with Wales really?
Absolutely. There's got to be a transition of players, and it's just the nature of the game. And Jess and Kayleigh moving on, they've left such a legacy, and there were such big players and characters. And Jess is now coaching or is on the coaching staff for this window. And I think that's just so important because she brings such a wealth of experience. And having her in and around the team can embed those values that she's had and her knowledge through the younger players as well. So her still being involved, I think, is massive for the team, but also that period of transition for the younger players going through. It's so important for them to go through these qualifying experiences. So when they get to a major tournament, they're ready and ready to put their best foot forward. Yeah,
definitely. Do you feel like it's something you'd like to do in future? Kind of be a part of, how you build kind of more, player support and structure around like wellbeing and, the emotional support that you give players kind of going through these moments. Like you've lived and eaten and breathed a really difficult kind of major tournament.
Don't get me wrong, there were some really tough times, and being together as a team and having that, being around each other. And we weren't used to being on camp for, I can't remember what it was in the end, but 3-4 weeks, pushing a month. You're around together all the time. So there are stressful testing moments and difficult conversations you have to have as a team. So navigating those, it's a great experience as a person, and hopefully something that, like you say, is that something I want to do in the future. I'd love to be able to give some of my experiences that I've gone through in a coaching role or something similar in a psychology or wellbeing role. I think something that I could really thrive in.
What were the big personalities doing in those moments in the change rooms when you're just about to go out to those big games? Yeah, what were they doing to kind of calm nerves?
Good question. There's always a playlist. I feel like that was managed by Rachel Rowe. Loves to put a bit of good upbeat music on. Then you have Kayleigh Green absolutely amping up if a banging tune comes on, loves a boogie. And I feel like Jess Fishlock's very like reserved but in the zone, very much focused on like her pre-act routine, stretching, does all the things she needs to do around, her knee injury that she had, very much in the zone. So I feel like there's a real contrast of big personalities in the changing room, but you can see everyone just doing what they need to do to get in the zone for the big games.
So a massive mix then, cool, calm, collected, and then a little bit of chaos with the music.
Yes, and then also we have this team tradition where put on Proud Mary.
Okay.
By Tina Turner. What a tune, by the way. You have to go and listen to it. So you can get the vision of us all just having a boogie going out before the game, and the volume is turned up to the max. We're all in a circle having a great time to really bring us together before we go out.
Do you know why that song was choked? Like why that's become your anthem? Like,
no idea.
No, not a clue.
No,
everyone's accepted it.
Someone will know where that's come from. I can't think right now. Maybe it's my baby brain, but that's just something we put on. It's brilliant.
I can't imagine any of the youngsters really even know who Tina Turner is, to be honest. They're just like, this has just been happening for years and we can't stop it. There's nothing about it.
You would hope so, but now they're educated.
Or maybe this next gen of like Welsh footballers will just be, I'm not doing this anymore. Put Dua Lipa on and, stop this nonsense.
Probably, yeah.
And that's the time you walk away from the whole thing. In terms of kind of the next generation of talent, like who do you think are Wales's next biggest, shining, brightest stars? Who do you?
There's a lot of young Welsh blood coming through. I don't know if you've heard of Mara Griffiths. Recently, she's on loan from United to Sunderland and scored in her debut, I believe.
Not
An
bad.
Absolute worldie goal if anyone has seen it. Brilliant finish. So, you've got players, really youthful players like that. You've got players like Carrie Jones, who's still, I feel like, she's been around forever, but she's still such, a young and upcoming player who can offer so much technically to the team. There's really a wealth of talent. I feel bad singling out those two people because there are so many coming through. But yeah, it's just an exciting time, and I'm excited to watch, hopefully, them in action in the upcoming games.
The next gen kind of taking it that next step further. Yeah. We're talking about the next step then. What do you feel like are the next steps for you? I mean, baby's born in July or so.
Yes, around that. Well, I feel like you can't plan these things. They do come when they come, I've heard.
100%. They never keep a tight schedule, the babies. I've heard from none of my experience.
I'll be on my toes in summertime.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you feel like are the next steps after baby's born? Do you foresee a world in which you go back to football and kind of, I don't know, I see for you kind of like one of those moments where you've got like green on the back of a little baby's shirt and you're walking out.
Funny you said that. Elise did get me my only baby item that I've got in my house is a Wales kit from Elise Hughes.
Love that.
And it's hanging up and it's got mum on the back and it's the cutest thing, and fitting that the baby is going to be a girl and her first thing is a football kit. So
100%.
I have a vision of me, hopefully coming back and coming out with baby girl with her mum Wales kit on. I just think that'll be unbelievable.
Oh my God, mate, I absolutely see that for
putting
you.
no pressure on it, but yeah, if
100%.
it happens, it happens.
And I also see like there's a retirement thing whenever you choose to do that, kind of like a guard of honor, you and your little girl with green on the back, or like, mum on the back of her shirt, kind of like, oh mate, I'll be in bits. You've got to tell me when that game is because I'll be
thinking
dehydrated.
a bit too far ahead, but not thinking about that.
No, I'll be dehydrated from tears. I'll tell you that for free, mate. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I didn't get to give any of my stories from back in the day, but maybe they're just not that appropriate for the
what happens in the
podcast.
Spurs training ground stays in the Spurs training ground.
Okay, we're wrapping it up now.
This many a time. I know what Josie's alluding to. We played a game of two truths and a lie, and it didn't go well for me. And that's what we need to know about it. But
okay, maybe for another day.
maybe for another pod.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, really appreciate you coming down, and we'll definitely have to have you back on once
Thank
the little one's born.
you.
Maybe we'll have our first baby on the pod.
Yeah.
I don't know how it goes in terms of sound
Nor do I. I'm
wise.
saying yes now, but
yeah.